Modernization, brought on by the Meiji Restoration, helped Japan maintain its independence and prevented it from suffering the same colonial fate as China had done, being split up into colonies and spheres of influence. Japan began to obtain imperial ambitions, as their small island nation contained a small supply of natural resources, which would not be enough for continued development and to sustain the industrialized nation. Rather inevitably, Japan faced conflicts with other nations in their path for power. In this episode, I'll be speaking about the First Sino-Japanese War. This podcast is based on the second edition coursebook on international history from 1870 to 1945 for Cambridge International AS Level History. The First Sino-Japanese War was caused by a conflict between China and Japan for power in Korea. Although Korea had been an important Chinese client state for many years, Japanese interest was attracted by Korea's nearby location and vast resources of coal and iron. In 1875, Japan forced Korea to open itself up to foreign trade, especially Japanese trade, and to declare itself independent from China in terms of foreign relations. In 1884, a pro-Japanese reformation group attempted to overthrow the Korean government. General Yuan Shikai of China sent troops to rescue the king, troops who subsequently killed several Japanese legation guards during the rescue. The countries were able to avoid war by signing the Li-Itō Convention and agreeing to withdraw their troops from Korea. In 1894, the pro-Japanese Korean leader of the 1884 coup, Kim Ok-Kyun, was lured to Shanghai and allegedly assassinated by a group of Yuan Shikai's agents. As a warning to other rebels, his body was put aboard a Chinese warship and sent back to Korea, where it was quartered and displayed, thus insulting the Japanese government and outraging the public. Later that year, the Tonghak Rebellion broke out, and the Korean king requested the Chinese government to send in troops to help to disperse the rebels. The Japanese considered this to be a violation of the Li-Itō Convention, and they sent 8,000 troops to Korea. The Japanese sank a British steamer that was carrying reinforcements for China, further aggravating the Chinese. War was finally declared on the 1st of August 1894, and the new modern Japanese army were able to quickly overrun Korea, Manchuria, and parts of China itself. China surrendered when their capital, Peking, known as Beijing in modern day, came under threat. Not only did the Sino-Japanese War mark the emergence of Japan as a major world power, but it also demonstrated the weaknesses of the Chinese Empire. The Treaty of Shimonoseki, which I'll be looking at in the following episode, was subsequently written. So, did the First Sino-Japanese War lead to Japan being recognized as a world power? On the one hand, Japan's status as a strong power improved significantly. Not only did the Sino-Japanese War mark the emergence of Japan as a major world power, but it also demonstrated the weakness of the Chinese Empire. Like other world powers, Japan was able to crush their opponent easily and gain concessions. On the other hand, Japan was still not recognized as a world power. Through the Triple Intervention, Japan was still able to be bullied by other world powers as they had only beaten China, who was a very weak country at the time. This is the end of the podcast. Thank you for listening.